Wow, beautiful. You're the God of gods. You're the God of gods and the Lord of lords, and the ruler of all that's above and below. You are Lord, as all of creation bears witness, in the name in whose honor all men are obliged to worship, to serve. You are Lord, and every creature serves you as slave, and nothing detracts from your glory, not those who worship without you, for the drive of all is to reach you. Although they resemble men who are blind, walking along the way of the king and going astray, sinking in the pit of destruction, slipping in the trap of deception. Certain they'll reach their heaven as each one labors in vain, but your servants are wiser and walk in their own integrity, turning neither to the right nor left. And coming to the court of the king, you are Lord. All creation relies on your godliness. All creatures feast on your oneness. You are Lord. And there's no distinction between your being divine and one, between your past and the real, between what you were and will be. All is a single mystery. Though its name might alter in aspects, all toward a single place move on. I have existed for all eternity, and behold, I am here. I shall exist till the end of the time, for my being has no end. I soared into limitless space and took wing in the imaginal world, approaching the circle of exalted light. And here I am now, mighty matter. I listened to the teachings of Confucius, imbibed the wisdom of Brahma and Sat, and besides Buddha beneath the tree of insight, and now I am here wrestling with ignorance and unbelief. I am on Sinai when Yahweh shed his effulgence on Moses at the river Jordan. I witnessed the miracle of the Nazari and the Medina. I heard the words of the messenger to the Arabs, and here I am now, the captive of Confucian. I behold the might of Babylon, the glory of Egypt, and the grandeur of Greece. I still see the weakness, degradation, and pettiness in all those worlds. I sat with the sorcerers of Endor, the seas of Assyria, the prophets, the Palestine, and I persist in singing the truth. I memorize the wisdom revealed to India, the harped odes wrought by the inhabitants of the Arabian Peninsula, and the music that embodies the sentiments of the Western people. Yet still I am blind and do not see, deaf and do not hear. I endure the brutality of the grasping confidence, suffering oppression at the hands of tyrannical rulers, and was enslaved by despots. Yet a power remains whereby I struggle against the days that saw and heard all that was still a child, and should see and hear the exploits of the youth and the consequences. Then I shall grow old and achieve perfection and return unto God. I existed from all eternity, and behold, I am here, and I shall exist till the end of the time. Of my being has no end. One God. One God is our Father. We are the children of one God. You are our Guru, the teacher. My soul is a sacrifice to you, O Lord. Friends, listen, reveal to me your blessed vision of the Darshan, holy sight. I am sacrificed to the dust of your feet. This mind is yours. I hold your feet. I massage and clean them. I give this mind to you. I've come to your sanctuary. Teach me that I might unite with God. Do not be proud. Seek this sanctuary and accept as good all that He does. Listen, friends. Dedicate your soul, body, and your whole being to Him. Thus you shall receive the blessed vision of His darshan. By the grace of the Son, He has shown mercy to you. The Lord's name is sweet to me. The Guru has shown mercy to the servant Nanak, who sees the castles immaculate Lord everywhere. Wherever I look, there I see Him present. He's never far away. He's all pervading everywhere. Oh, my mind, meditate on Him forever. He alone is called your companion, who will not be separated from you here or hereafter. That pleasure where that passes away in an instant is trivial. He cherishes us and gives us sustenance. He does not lack anything. With each and every breath, my God takes care of His creatures. God is undeceivable, impenetrable, and infinite. His form is lofty and exalted, chanting and meditating on the embodiment of wonder and beauty. His humble servant is in bliss. Bless me with such understanding, O merciful Lord God, that I remember you. Nanak begs God for the gift of the dust of the feet of the saints, the simple union. O Sadhu, the simple union is the best since the day I met with my Lord. There has been no end to the port of our love. I shut not my eyes, I close not my ears, I do not mortify my body. I see with eyes open and smile and behold His beauty everywhere. I it is His name and body, but I see. It reminds me of Him, whatever I do, it becomes His worship. The rising and setting are one to me. All contradictions are solved wherever I go. I move round Him, and I achieve in His service. When I lie down, I lie prostrate at His feet. He is the only adorable one to me. I have none other. My tongue has left off impure words. It sings His glory day and night, whether I rise or sit down. I can never forget him, for the rhythm of his music beats in my ears. Kabir says, my heart is frenzied, and I disclose in my soul what is hidden. I am immersed in that one great bliss which transcends all pleasure and pain, the swing of consciousness. Between the pillars of the spirit and matter, the mind has put up a swing. There swings the bound soul and all the world's wall with not even the slightest rest. The sun and the moon also swing, and there is no end to it. The soul swings through millions of births like the endless circling of the sun and the moon. Billions of the ages have passed with no sign of relief. The earth and the sky swing, wind and the water swing, taking the body volumes and swings. Kabir, the servant of the God, had seen it all of brother seekers. Only when you are alive in the hope of finding Him. While you are alive, meditate. While you are alive, contemplate. Only when you are alive can liberation be found. If you do not get the news of your karma while living, what hope is there of liberation when you are dead? It is hopeless dream to think that union will come after the soul leaves the body. What you get now is what you get then. Otherwise, all you get is to stay in hell. Embrace the real, recognize the true Guru, have faith in the power of the name. Kabir says only spiritual practice will get you across by addicted to it. This practice God's name by Tukaram. He who utters the name of God while walking gets the medal of the sacrifice at every step. His body becomes a place of the pilgrimage. He who repeats God's name while working always finds perfect peace. He who utters the name of the God while eating gets a merit of a fast, even though he has taken his meals. Even if he were to give in charity the whole earth encircled by the seas, it will not equal to the merit of repeating the name by the power of the name. One will know what cannot be known. One will see what cannot be seen. One will meet what cannot be met. Tuka says, incalculable is the gain that comes from repeating the name of God. Guru Arjan. रूहानी फितरत में तेरी सारी इंसान एक थे, हक शासी में तेरी हिंदू मुस्लिम एक थे. Nanak, through Guru, you are the divine teaching, the unique is the message of the goodwill for all. I, the Creator, is one and one, our humanity. Guests of earth we are for a few days. So let go of all quarrels. You taught us meditation, honest work, and sharing food with the needy as a duty. And to put our hands to working while remembering God day and night in our hearts, a Muslim minstrel was your companion lifelong, that to erase all religious differences as you had taught. How long can one religion remain at enmity with another, when our earth is one to share it under the same sky? Once more, may the Punjab proclaim the unity of God, acclaim the Pakistan and India from deep slumber for long scattered in the helpless exile. Thread us again in its bond of sincerity, to lift us beyond national and religious fanaticism, and usher us into light so besieged by Tej. A call for action. Come and let us start the building the new world as an interpretation of the beautiful dream. Let's begin a new era to usher plan for the betterment of all mankind. Snared by the beauty, my soul cries out. Snared by the beauty of the formless one, as I cry by myself, night and day, beauty and Mars. Before my eyes I pass his numberless moons and suns. If I look at the clouds in the sky, I see the beauty afloat, and I see him walk on the stars, blazing my heart. Shanti Deva, a guide to the Buddhist way of life. May I be the doctor and the medicine, and may I be the nurse for all sick beings in the world, until everyone is healed. May a rain of food and drink descend to clear away the pain of thirst and hunger, and during the year of famine, may I myself change into food and drink. May I become an inexhaustible treasure for those who are poor and destitute. May I turn into all things they could need, and may these be placed close beside them. I'm ashamed, my God. I'm ashamed, my God, and abashed to be standing before you, for I know that as great as you might have been, such is my utter weaknesses and failing, and exalted as the poor, has been and will be, such is the depth of my poverty, as perfect as your wholeness is, so is my knowledge flawed. For you are one and alive and mighty, abiding, strong and wise. You are the Lord my God, and I am the clod of dirt and of worm, dust of the ground and a vessel of shame, a speechless stone, a passing shadow, a wind blown, but that won't return, a spider's poison, a lion hard and cut by for his Lord. A man of rages, a craftsman of scheming and haughty, corrupt and impatient in his speech, perverse in his ways and impetuous, where I or myself. What is my might and my righteousness throughout the days of my being? I am nothing, and what then after I die? I came from nothing and nothing pursuing against instruction. I come here before you with insolence and impure notion, an impulse that strays to his idols and greed as it calls, and a soul that hasn't been claimed, and a heart that's lost and alone, and a body afflicted with storms of desire ceaseless within their resistance. Let it be, my God, your will to bridle my fell inclination, and hide your face from my sin and transgression, and not to take me away in the midst of my days, until I'm prepared my provision for the way, and my repentance for the day of my passing. What if I depart from the world as I entered, and naked and empty return as I came? Why was I made, or called to be the witness to struggle and pain? I'm better what happened and born, rather than adding to guilt and transgression. Just me, Lord. By the standard of mercy and not in your anger and days, you'll bring me into nothing. And for what is man that you would judge him, but haunted vanity and breath pursued? How could you measure that in a balance? You would put it into these scales, and the pan would neither rise nor fall. What good would it do to you to wait on the wind? For from the day of your birth he is tortured and shamed, affliction and stricken by God and plague. He begins his chaff in the storm and ends like driven straw. While he lives, he is blighted grass, and the fleeting moment is found by the Lord. From the time he emerges from his mother's womb, his nights are griefs and his days are sighing. If he is lifted one day in fortune, his fortune's moms are bred by dawn. He is driven by chaff and stubble, which will bring him down. Continues seeks trouble, and hungry he would sin for bread. In his boyhood, his heart is stubborn, with the spirit of the lust begins to move him. He wakens to gain the pursuit and leaves the home to sail the seas and crest across the deserts and dry his soul. In the lion's den and walks among the beasts. Just vain, he thinks his glory is great, that his hand has gotten much, and the destroyers in peace comes to him, and he opens his eyes and is poor. He would continually put through trial, vexation, at every turn, moment by moment, through harm, day by day, through terror. As his pain worsens, his honor grows thin, and the neighborhood children begin to taunt him. And to the young man, wear him down. He becomes a burden to daughter and the son, and his family and friends disown him. And the time comes to leave the court and enter the court of the earth, to exchange the shadows of home for the endless shadows of death. How could a man who faces all this find time for what's pure and repentance? The day is short and the work is great, and the owners are all impatient and anxious and full of contempt, and time plays trick after trick, and the landlord has started to knock. Therefore, my Lord, remember the whole of the struggle through which man is put, as I have often ignored what's right. Look after my soul in the end, and do not account for me sin by sin, a man whose transgressions are endless, who leaves this life without joy. I have known. Vaheguru. I have known, my God, that those who implore you have excellent action to speak of for their faith or virtue. They have help in creating while I have nothing. I am hollow and shaking out a ravaged wine, and in me is neither honor or what seems right, affection or candor of heart, not prayer and not supplication, not purity, faith and simplicity, not fairness and or honest measure, neither repentance nor service. Let it therefore be your merciful will, my God and the God of our fathers, for in sovereign Lord of all worlds, to be near and have mercy upon me, to remember me in the call of your will, to lift the light of your face across me, and conceive for me the graciousness, and not pay me for all I've done, and make me an object of the scorn for the best, or take me away In the midst of my days, or obscure your face before me, or to cleanse me of all transgression, or to cast me away from your presence. And then when you draw me from the life of the world we know, bring me to peace in the life of the world to come, and call me to rise, place me among the righteous with men who among the living are summoned to life here ever after, and cleanse me with the light of the continents. Return me to life on the earth's depths. Loving kindness is yours in all the good you have done me, and until I do, will do. I die, will do. May you be praised in the mouth of creation, and be hallowed by voice of sanctification. Be known as one by those who seek to know you are in oneness, exalted by those who extol you, and lifted by those who would lift you up in song. And may you be praised in the mouth of those who pray. For among the gods nothing is like you, and nothing, my Lord, compares with what you have done. May the words of my mouth and my heart meditation before you be pleasing, my God, and my redemption. Message of Christ. For the guidance of humanity came myself, to prevent going the wrong way and to point the righteousness, cause blessings on those who are humble and in humility work for the peace of humanity. Fully committed in their hearts, the pure and the merciful who serve others with kindness here will receive boundless blessings from God there. Those who treat their enemy with love instead of revenge, and those who are poor will receive recognition in heaven. Do unto others what you wish to do unto you, and judge not others, so they may not judge you. Remember God when in pain and difficulty, and when enlightened. Let your light shine on the world. You reveal to all the secrets of idle life. Allow me also to pay homage to you while praying. Artist of Escape. Step right up now, ladies, gents. Set him in his grand event, decked out in silk, hat and cape. The artist of escape. There is no falling, he can't flee. No thought he is forced to see. Hair will stand stiff on your neck. The artist of escape. Watch him run from God's command, sprinting from his loving hand. Even Jonah's mouth would keep. The artist of escape. Artist through. Though he seems to be doomed to constant failure, he's God. He got as close as skin on grape. From love you can't escape. Inseparable. Ginger and Fred, Coffin and Dead. Wilbur and his Mr. Egg. Light in the sun, kids and one. God and I'll join this one. Paul and cool, dogs and rule. Hardware, stone and power tool. Bonnie and Clyde, seek and hide. We are inseparably tied. Roads and cars, heaven and stars. Alcohol and smoky balls. Beatles and hair under the unveiled. Faithful God is always there. Glasses and ice, Clinton and fries, tribe, suit and power ties, hockey and puck, liver and jack. How close God and I are stuck. Nick and Nat, Jill and Jack. Darkness in the color black, water and bed, breeze and depth. He has never left me yet. Chocolate and s'mores, farm and chores, eagle in the sky. It sows blizzard and snow, foot and toe. He will never let me go. Worm and dirt, fracture and hurt. Ernie and his dull print birds, sap and tree, buzz and beat. We are bound eternally. God's love. In time the heart heals from the pains of the life, not to enjoy a state of everlasting bliss, but to endure and state the raptures of agony, leading to realization. Life is precious, death is precious. Time has season, growth is reason. Knowledge, the benchmark of understanding, yet elusive, this measure, mysteries indeed, sought after and thought captured none. Eternally cradled in the sacred treasure, grateful. I'm grateful for the moments, both happy and sad, for without them life lacks purpose and meaning. So much has been given, and time is required to comprehend the growth so richly inspired. Finding balance in journey, the ultimate key. Appreciation of experience comes only with age. A pendulum of emotion setting the rhythm, tarnishing the richness of all that is given, pondering, longing. What is the meaning of this longing? What is this that I feel so profound? Is it hunger or thirst or loneliness that comes and stays without sound? Is it love that is put on a shelf waiting for a time that was not come? Is it love that cannot be expressed because of an ancient rule of thumb? Love demands a certain presence. What if that presence is not there? Love sits on a shelf and grieves, as if it's distant, despondent glare. Why grieve my heart, mind, and soul for it? For if we are waves immersed in ocean, there is unique impression of oneness, a flowing rhyme beyond emotion. No matter where the beloved may be, there can be loving exchange. They frolic in God's ocean of love, joys kindled, waves within waves, the silence peace. Silence walked through the valley of my life one day, and as I fell into the quietude of it to witness a new play of life, that is, my mental chatter began to scatter. And in silence, I looked in and really saw a cold, desperate eyes of the homeless poor and resigned, suffering of the refugees who didn't know where they belonged or what they believed. And I saw the pain in the souls of the multitude of elderly folk who had almost forgotten how to joke. And as the world they knew fell from view, and the harsh crime of bitterness of the 21st century soon ensued, so I walked with the silence in my heart. I saw suffering right from the start and placed to cease their pain. With no thought of my pain, this is what the silence taught me, remembering God. Remembering God when works are accomplished, remembering God when never speaks, remembering God when speaks the glorious presence of the Lord, remembering God when is absorbed in the state of the intuitive, remembering God when the chins are unchanging position, remembering God the heart lotus blossom forth, remembering God the unstruck melody vibrates, the peace of the meditative remembrance of the God has no end or limitation. That alone remembers him upon whom the God bestows his grace. Nanak seeks the sanctuary of those humble beings. He alone is in the mind. He alone is everywhere. The perfect Lord is totally permeating us, permeating everywhere. The perfect Guru has dissembled all doubts, dispel all doubts, remembering the Lord in meditation, and has found peace. Those who remember God. Those who remember God are wealthy. Those who remember God are honorable. Those who remember God are approved. Those who remember God are the most distinguished person. Those who remember God is not lacking. Those who remember God are the rulers of all. Those who remember God dwell in peace. Those who remember God are immortal and eternal. They alone hold to the remembrance of Him unto whom He Himself shows His mercy. Nanak begs for the dust of their feet. Remarkable Mala, 50 men. Meditate thou on the beloved Lord Master. Remembering the Lord's name, thou shalt remain alive, and great death shall not again devote thee. Thou hast come after wandering millions of lives due to great destiny, though obtain the sense guilt. Without the perfect Guru, there is no salvation. Nanak said this after due deliberation. Silent cry on a maiden day in Patna, beneath the reddened sun, come forth from the heavens in melody. Just once the heart before the God and the angels of it, the universe is silent and still, for the will of the God is almighty, comes from forth justice and splendid form, the prayers of the saints, the terror-stricken poor are heard by God and justice. The house of the Nanak, the womb of the Mata Gujri, come forth a child heavenly adorned, radiant in thy nature. Sacrifice the personality, justice to thy soul. God's will they obey in humility, and at 9 did they send forth in a cause of suffering humanity the Father unto his death to save him wisdom from mortality. Thou art like Guru Arjan Dev, who suffered tortures inhuman, who praised the Lord Almighty, uttering while being tortured, sweet is thy will, O Lord. I ask only for thy name. Who can thou possibly be? I know thee as Guru Gobind Singh Ji. Guru Gobind Singh Ji, at the age of play, thou arose to the challenge not once without fail. Thou sacrificed all the baby princes of the playful age of 6 and 8, that teen-aged princes martyred in battle for the causes of the sick, the freedom of religion. Thou mother also sacrificed, upholding them. Guru Gobind Singh Ji, supreme are thy sacrifices, great is thy victory, great is thy courage, great is the Khalsa, great is thy name. Bravery, if one were to learn, befitting in thy name. Compassion, if one were to seek, no thou one attempt. Love, if ever is true meaning known, who else be but thee? Justice, if ever the world were to earn no further, then your code does one have to see Guru Gobind Singh Ji. None in the three worlds can match the sword with thee. That bow is magical, from which arrows of lightning flee. Thy eagle, thy stallion are themselves heavenly. Guru Gobind Singh Ji, thou art poetry which soothes the minds of all thy devotees. Guru Gobind Singh Ji, that beauty is supreme, fulfilling all hearts. Guru Gobind Singh Ji, I have no words for the they are befitting thee. Guru Gobind Singh Ji, fulfill thy devotees' heart's desire. Guru Gobind Singh Ji, the true Guru of the kings. Guru Gobind Singh Ji, the true servant of those in need, the true messenger of bliss, the enlightener of the soul, in whose hands reside God's treasure. Give this foolish jest the medicine for which the heart pains can be limited. Guru Gobind Singh Ji, may I ever be a sacrifice unto thee, this story, told by a voice mistaken to a child young for their very first time there at a fountain. At a choking sensation, he could only gasp for longing and indescribable. His heart pained, his soul cried to no avail. For deafness was in disguise, his mind envisioned the beauty of such a martyrdom of the princess whose valor he could only think of. He recalls that magical day in Sirhan did his heart lay. In silence broken by the winds blew, as if indicating a longing to be fulfilled, he looked up. The sun shined strong, but he felt in his heart that something was wrong. He remembers the tale vividly clear. Two young princes appearing before him, Basit Khan. They stride elegant, their beauty pure as lions, with their battle his ears. Remember the melody of the steel. The two lions rode into battle in a salute of on hearing the enemy grumble. Vaheguru Ji ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji. But Basit Khan, the governor of the Shiddat, startled, could not believe his eyes. Two young playful-aged princes stood before him, fearlessly tall. Basit Khan tried all the tactics to convert the young princes of to Islam, accept Islam. He said, the riches of the world will be thine, the beautiful maidens will be thine. You will live a life of bliss for all time. They speak the princes of the Basit Khan, we the sons of the lions. His name thou know as Guru Gobind Singh. We are grandsons of selfless sacrifice. His name thou know as Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji. We are great grandsons of the saints and soldiers, the ordiner of the Meetpuri. Know them as the Guru Hargobind. We are the great grandsons of the martyr of divine love. Thou knowest him as the Guru Arjan Dev Ji. The eyes of the Guru Nanak speak to thee, Basit Khan. We do not prize this materialistic world of a Khalsa as our life. It will be the will of the Lord. Thou do what I please. We accept not Islam, for we are the sons of Khalsa Guru Gobind Singh Ji. He recalls his valor. The amazement of the people in attendance, they could not believe what they saw. Two princes, aged 6 and 8, fearlessly confronting Basit Khan. After all, it was with Basit Khan did speak. Diwan Satyanand, a Hindu by faith, the devil at heart, he spoke a curse that went against all teachings of theirs. Only God knew of such. Nanda spoke. Basit Khan, the serpent, Guru Gobind Singh, we see, has caused thee such much trouble, and he is but only one. The young serpents of such poison, if they yet live, will one day cause such upheaval. The world has not seen or quasi spoke, Basit Khan. The two you see before thee are the determined to Islam. It is thy duty to fulfill. I order the sentence that they should be executed at once. He recalls the tearful love. The smile on the faces of the two young princes, they spoke the court, and those in attendance looked out and air quasi. Is that all you can do? We fear not death. We keep it with us wherever we go. Qazi, commence thy sentence at once. He recalls a poet picture. Of such he cannot describe the two princes standing tall among the wall of bloodthirsting bricks. A house of Khalsa he saw being built, the foundation supported by sacrifice. He saw the blood of such fragile. The wind within what forever carries with time. He remembers such bravery. The brick of the knee. At the knee of the prince was to be placed. The bricklayer saw that the prince's flesh was in the way, so he broke a brick to bypass the flesh. To such did speak with such valor Prince Kaurav Singh. Thou art binding the house of the Khalsa. What art thou doing? The foundation must be fully completed. Remove the flesh that is in thy way on the course of the Khalsa. For the house of the Khalsa must be unbroken bricks. His swine shivered. With such words were spoken, only then did he understand the glory of this sacrifice. He looked up into the now dying sun. He knew now from the heavens was still. The two princes that God had ordained had gone back to their godly domain. Of such sacrifice, the witness of such, of which will never be surpassed ever again. May God be witness to such a claim. Mata Gujri and Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji, parents of the Guru Gobind Singh Ji, the son of the Guru Gobind Singh Ji, respectively from eldest to smallest, Baba Ajit Singh, Baba Johar Singh, Baba Zorawar Singh, and Baba Fateh Singh, the fifth Guru, Guru Arjan Dev Ji, who spoke those words of great humility while being tortured by being seated on steel.